Hello, my name is Mr. Ryan Kish. I am the teacher for Computer Science Principles. Computer Science Principles, or CSP as we call it, is one of the Project Lead the Way courses here at the high school, one of our pre-engineering courses for our students. This course is an AP course, and so it is available for college credit by way of the AP exam and the AP project for our class. So just kind of a quick overview of our class here. Computer Science Principles is meant to be an introductory programming class. So for those who have no experience, but even those who have some or a lot of experience, I think have a lot to gain from this particular course. The curriculum is all online. The curriculum is provided by Project Lead the Way. And it's actually a new curriculum this year, which is great. I think they've made some really nice improvements. And it's really a strong curriculum for the students to go through this year. So just a quick glance at what the students will see when they're working. This is the Project Lead the Way curriculum site. So students log into this site daily. And in here, they will find all the resources that they need for class. There are some general resources that you can see on the side. And then down below, we will actually see their day-to-day lessons. Okay. And just a quick overview of what the site and the curriculum kind of looks like for them. So embedded in here are kind of everything from career connections with videos. There are specific instructions for the students to follow as well. For example, in one of our first activities here, we did a bit of a hands-on activity where they were folding a paper and had to draw a little drawing and then try to explain in words only without other people seeing how to recreate the drawing, basically a small program, or at least getting the concept across of, how a computer would interpret something and, how we probably rely a lot ourselves on visual aids, but the computer and programmers do not, and just kind of try to bring that little lesson home. So as we go a little further into the course here, you can see all the activities listed out. The activities are kind of self-guided, in that sense. So the students will go in. Basically, there's going to be a combination of information that they're going to read. They have vocabulary that they can click on to see. Again, nice job with some videos and things, trying to make it a little bit more interesting to kids so they're not just reading online. And then eventually they will get to an area where they actually are able to do some coding right inside of our little site here. So they can play it and test it out. There's a very common first program called Hello World, where it just kind of prints out the words hello there. Right now, we're a little further into the class, and students have been learning basically how to do some drawing on the screen. So typically in the class here, as we learn different concepts, they will get like a small challenge. So they will be presented with some code. They will kind of test it out and see what it does. And we'll give it a second here. So for example, this one here, just kind of draw some dots and a pattern across the top. We happen to be learning about something called while loops right now. Which is here. And then a little bit further down is kind of the challenge. So they say, hey, now that you see how that one works, try to make this pattern, okay, only using the while loops that we're learning about. And again, they get a little spot where they can kind of keep testing, and ultimately, hopefully they'll solve it, or obviously they'll get some help along the way in their efforts. So it's a nice little combination of, okay, here's how it works, but now you go ahead and try, and it's just enough challenge to get them to think. Hopefully it's not too overwhelming, and that's kind of how the class will progress. So we kind of introduce a new little lesson, they see how someone else uses it, and then they're kind of encouraged and pushed to use it on their own as we kind of make our way through all these learning lessons. So we were just going through a lot of the basic logic concepts right now. So different types of very common and basic programming concepts, also using things like operators, so greater than, less than, equal to. There is a good amount of math in here as well. Nothing too heavy, but certainly, plenty of numbers and things like that they're keeping track of. We're also introducing the concept of variables, which are things that just hold information in a program, and then we can call upon later in the program. And these things can be updated throughout. So that's typically a pretty new concept for a lot of students. Okay. As we kind of progress through the course here, for example, at the end of this unit, students will actually get a chance to do kind of a larger project. So we'll take all of the various lessons from the previous activities and kind of smush them into one much larger project. There'll be a little more freedom there where, the kids have a little bit more choice about how the project's going to look. But typically they have to make sure that they're including all of the different learning items that we've done in some kind of a creative way. So, the project will have a bit of a framework to it, but again, there's also some creativity and challenge within there for them to kind of do their own thing. So we'll just take a look quickly at the syllabus here. It's pretty lengthy, so I don't want to bore everybody, but some of the major concepts throughout class. So they kind of focus on some big ideas. Those big ideas would be algorithm programming, creative development, computer systems and networks, data, and the impact of computing. Okay, so our first unit is kind of focusing around algorithms. And again, we're chipping away at some of the more common programming language concepts and getting a chance to test all those out as they go. Our second unit here deals with abstraction, which is just a concept that allows us to kind of move on to a bigger and better code, kind of building off of things that have already been done by others and allowing us to kind of be more creative and do more challenging things without having to create everything from the ground up, which is really nice. Our second unit gets into the internet, so we'll talk a lot about just functionality. How does the internet work? How does information travel? When you click that purchase button from Amazon, what's happening behind the scenes there, and how is a lot of that information traveling and working and being saved, and all that good stuff. So, a lot of programming that's going on behind the scenes there. The website is really just what we see, but the code is really what makes it work. So we'll also explore things like HTML, which is the markup language for designing websites, and getting a quick glance at how that works. Our third unit is going to bring us into data, a very big thing in programming these days. So how to collect data and then really how to look at and interpret data as well. So data mining is a very popular term that we hear out there. So, collecting all that information and then trying to use that information to either make predictions, identify trends, and things like that. And that can range from everything from obviously shopping to medical to political. And just all different ways to collect that data and kind of sort it out. So we will be using some various sensors in class. So we kind of focus around the scientific part of it. And we will use that information to kind of make some of our own predictions. And then finally, towards the very end of the year, looking at more complex problems and, kind of some bigger picture things, some of the challenges, the real life challenges that are out there right now in computer science, and just kind of giving folks a taste of a lot of the different areas that computer science has to offer. These days, it's not just someone sitting in a dark room, staring at a screen for 48 straight hours, cranking out code. Modern programmers are the people who work at Google and Amazon and places like that, and are really making a lot of these big complex systems run. So a lot of great jobs out there for these young folks in the future. Okay. And that's really course in a nutshell. We do have one other software that we use. It's called Microsoft Visual Code Studio. This is a professional grade program. So when students are actually starting to work on some of these bigger projects, we'll be moving into this particular program. And it just allows them to save code for longer periods of time. This is the same one that we'll also use to kind of integrate some of our web-based learning, with HTML and data. And it's a very, very robust program, again, that's kind of used by a lot of professionals all over the world. So, but that is class in a nutshell. I'd be happy to hear from you. You can find my email on the website or call the school. You can also have your student get a hold of me through Google Classroom. Really, all of our work this year is going to be through the classroom and through the My Project Lead the Way website, where students are accessing their curriculum on a daily basis. Thanks for watching, and take care.